then, oh yeah, all these dead ends and things, huh? Dead end, dead end. So the route back is pretty hairy, actually. May as well put a stop there since you're going to do that, and then this. Okay. Let me check my Gmail. All right, I will try Skype. Skype has been pretty messed up today. I will try to get back on there because it sounds like TotallyMoo might be about. Let me see if it works. It's just stuck in like permanent loading. I can get chat messages, but that's it. So TotallyMoo is about, and we want to have a conversation, but I don't think we can. Skype is Borkin. Bright Lord, you don't have to yell. I do have high-tech housing. See? Yeah. Any other possible voice over IP? Yeah, TeamSpeak or Raid Call or something like that. I don't think I've got any of them installed, though. That's a problem. I do have Raid Call installed. Join group 10 Huh? There we go. So I will wait for him in Raid Call. We'll see if we can get TotallyMoo. TotallyMoo is the community manager from Paradox, in charge of, I think, more than one thing. But in particular, he looks after the city skyline stuff. Okay. Sorry guys for watching that this is a little distracting, but if we can set this up, that'll be cool. And I'm so annoyed that I can't put Skype on Do Not Disturb mode while it's in spinny, loady, loady town and not doing anything. Why Skype poop? Taxis, yeah, taxis. We gotta get our tourism thing. We have to have an ability for visitors from out of town to visit our city, airports, harbors, passenger train stations, and then get the taxi things up and running. A little bit of crime up here, most likely. I never did add services in this area of town. Is that an actual hospital? Because we don't have one yet. Boom. A little bit more death care over here. Not too far from the artery. That'll work out nicely. Yep, fire services. And not too far from the artery. And then a police over here. We'll have to keep an eye on our prison. I guess we can probably get the stats from over here, right? Jail's available. There we are. Criminals in prison. Lots of space. Excellent. Okay, let me quit Skype. Thank you. And pull in TotallyMoo over here. Alright, TotallyMoo, I don't know, hopefully you can hear me. Don't know if I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hey!
Hey, nice to meet you again, or long time no talk.
Yeah, it has been. Last time we talked, was it in March when the game was in pre-release?
I think so.
I mean,
it must have been just after ParadoxCon, right?
Yeah, I mean, talking by voice. Were you at, Yeah, I guess so, that's right. Because the last Paradox event I was at... Oh no, I guess my last one was the Hearts of Iron 4 one, but you weren't there.
One in London, I think?
Yeah, I was in London.
Yes. Anyways, are you excited for After Dark?
Oh, I'm super excited.
It's been city going.
It's been a while since I played Skylines, like streamed and everything, and it was good to get back to it. I've been looking forward to it. I was like, well, with the expansion, it's going to be the perfect time for it.
I see that. I've actually been holding off playing the expansion ever since we get just because access and get it. the juicy mods and stuff around it. So it's been really infuriating this summer just trying to dodge playing cities at all. But such is life.
Oh yeah, when like you want your mods to be working.
I mean, I want to kind of be part of the rest of the players. Otherwise, you feel great game, but you're then one kind of tired of it. Everyone else gets it. So I had to kind of contain myself to not having fun until publicly available, which is really soon. Oh my god, this has been a moment I waited for the entire summer. So I'm super psyched for this week.
Right. When's the actual release? Is it Thursday?
Yes.
Excellent.
And hopefully it should through.
It should what?
The actual release, but it's all depending on Steam and when they put in. So it can be anywhere between 3 in the afternoon to 7 in the evening.
Right. You don't have that much control over it.
No, it's like they have a button on their end. I think everything is in our control except for that one thing. Which is kind of... Oh, by the way, I see I'm a bit lagging behind in the stream. I'm trying to place an airport. You don't need a road first, so you just need flat ground to kind of place that down. It's a bit iffy because it's so large that it really needs a big flat air.
Yeah, no, I was just seeing that. I found a nice flat spot to put it down, so I'm going to do that over here. It's a little weird not having the road first, though. That's interesting.
Oh, but it's so large that it would be really iffy if they had to place the road first and then kind of checking on you back and forth and back.
Yeah, so I guess you find a place where you can fit it in first. Where's my road axis? Over there. So that's going to be...
It actually comes with a road too, so...
Yeah, I probably should have rotated it differently. I didn't know where the road was coming in. On the other hand, this looks awesome. I say, this new international airport. So, tell me the difference between the international airport and the, I guess, the domestic one.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure the main difference is for passengers. There's more planes, there's more... I mean, it kind of simulates the idea that there are more tourists that can fly to your city from other places compared to just the local flights. And then, of course, it has the built-in metro station, which I think is awesome. Is that you don't really need that bothersome road traffic that can quite a nuisance with the tourists, especially since we have fixed the tourist system, so now tourist numbers shouldn't be very low compared to what they've been previously.
So there's going to be a lot more tourists.
A lot more tourists, and there's a lot more traffic, which means having a metro station built in, and you can have directly connected to public transit, which I think is kind of practical compared to normal. But that would be the main difference. It's just it's a lot more interest in that, so you're going to see a lot more planes coming in.
Yeah, I don't know if I should have the power cables run right across the runway. The game is going to let me, but yeah, I feel like this might be slightly unsafe.
You've seen the flight simulator mod, right?
Uh-huh.
It would be so cool if we could actually add collisions somehow in the game. Fly around and crash into things.
Even this is actually pretty dangerous because of where it goes. I guess I'll just leave it for now. Because it's funny. It'd be nice if you could run power lines underground.
I mean, they are underground. That's the blue thing, but you can't run the long distance power lines. But that would be really expensive in real life if you had just power lines, right?
Oh, right, yeah, the blue radius is your underground power lines, yeah.
Yeah, that's your underground connection. So you've been streaming for quite a few hours already. Have you seen like any interesting that have been announced so far, or anything I can there? Because I know, I mean, we've been doing our best to speak about everything prior to release, but it's really hard to catch up.
I don't think there's been anything particularly weird for me. Like, I haven't gone and done, like, an in-depth analysis of the different traffic patterns between day and night or anything like that. I do have one leisure commercial area, so I know that works a bit differently. So, your regular commercial areas, do they shut down at night if they're not flagged for leisure?
I want to say yes, or at least a lot lower activity in simulating that there would be shops and sort of things, but industry and commercial and office zone release a lot during that, so there is a change in where to go and what they need to work with the times today, but I don't think they completely turn off. I just think that they're a lot. Otherwise, I bet a lot of players would find themselves kind of uncomfortable situations when it's suddenly night mode and you realize, oh, I'm losing. But those values, I wouldn't be surprised if they're So you first, I mean, the game is designed to be to approach and not really punishing, but then a lot of players want the hardcore, so like that you can change that in the future.
Right. So solar power plants are now basically useless.
No, they aren't. I spoke with a guy on Reddit about this, and he said that apparently the model we're using is some kind of salt ground solar power thing that actually remains warm during the night, and
Right.
that heat generates power, meaning that they work. I
Well-
thought it was a really clever excuse. I'm not sure if that's actually what Colossal Order thought about, or if they just did a
Well-
cool solar plant, but it's a plausible explanation.
But these don't produce the one I have one in my game. It doesn't produce power at night. It says in the description during the night it does not produce,
They
and
changed that?
the power output did go to 0 megawatts at night. We can check again. We'll check one more night and see how it goes.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they changed it. I mean, that's the thing. Colossal Order are very, very active. I mean, that we kind of get new build relatively often. So when I go on a fact, it's something that might have been changed. Like, I was confused. I thought the day-night cycle was roughly 30 minutes each, and they are now changed to so there's been a lot of changes and tiny adjustments in work. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't work at night.
I mean, I think I would prefer it if they did, because right now it feels like there's not much point in doing it. And yeah, like you can simulate it. There's batteries, there's different things like that you can do. I mean, unless the city uses a lot less power at night, which doesn't really seem to be the case, then I don't know if I'll build another one.
Or
What's
build
that?
light and stuff. I think it actually should, if anything, power. I'm not completely sure about that. I haven't been going too in depth about the simulation. Just once again, things have been changed so much during development that it's really confusing if you're a PR person.
Oh yeah, like you don't
Things
know what
change
the
from week to
current
week.
state of the release is because there have been so many states, and you're like, what did we end up going with? And that'll have to shake out in the next few weeks. That makes perfect sense, of course.
Colossal surprises at all times, though. They add so tiny things never expect, like the district styles. That we, or at least I, heard from when I read the developer diary, because I was in Seattle at that time, and I'm reading through it on my phone, and I'm like, there's a district styles functionality? I had no idea we were going to add that, and they, Colossal Order, kind of just did it on their own whim because they realized it was a simple thing. So it's a ever ongoing adventure to work with this development and kind of just discovering new things.
Oh, one of the people in chat just reminded me. I have a request.
Ooh.
I would like
Sure.
a slider to control the brightness of nighttime, because nighttime can be very, very, very dark, especially when doing streaming. Because of like weight compression. Nighttime is too dark.
I have heard this from our testers too, and I don't know if you've been following us releasing thoughts on our social media and such. And nighttime was relatively recently changed to look a lot better, and with that came a kind of overwhelming darkness that hasn't really been adjusted yet to be perfect. So I am pretty sure that if this is something we see instantly feedback-wise, that this is something that we're going to fix or improve somehow relatively close after launch. We've already seen it from several streamers and from testing. So I think it's one of those things that's already on our radar, but not. I mean, we have been in content lockdown for weeks now, which means that we're not really doing.
Yeah, it's just bug fixes.
Released. Yeah, it's just bug fixes, which is of course really stressful too, because we have all these ideas and plans and concepts and things we want to do, and there's just this moment where you have to take a step back and be like, okay guys, this is the expansion, this is what we're going to present, we want to make it even more, but we really can't with the time limits we set, and then of course there is a period after where you have to do the tweak fixes. And I mean, I don't know who said it or if it's been said a gazillion times, but the moment you release a game, within like an hour, you have more QA time than you can ever do in a year. Since of course there's millions of people playing it suddenly, then all of these feedback things appear that you kind of want to act on. And I think darkness is going to be, it is difficult at times to build at night. That is something that, or at least I personally can acknowledge.
Yeah, I don't tend to have too much of a problem inside the city itself because the streets are lit. But when I'm trying to lay down rail in the middle of nowhere during the dark period, because rails are not lit, then it's a little bit tricksy. I mean, it's a small
Definitely.
thing, but it'd be awfully nice.
No, but I think a slider would be a very plausible solution. That or just a very, very easily toggle, but that could be immersion.
Yeah, because
Trying
there's
to
an
go for it.
option to disable the day-night cycle, but I don't want to do that. I still want the day-night cycle and the
Yeah,
the
that goes
features
with
that
the
come from
gameplay and
that.
everything. Yeah. But hopefully we'll find some feedback from that feedback because of course it shouldn't be a nuisance that it becomes. It should be something that you're excited about, not like "Oh, I can't build for it."
Yeah, exactly. So no, I figured that would probably come. I'm still trying to expand a little bit here.
What's your goal with the city? Cozy town. A lot of
Um,
wind power there.
Probably relatively high population. Try to aim for that. Right now, I really want to try to develop a tourism sector because I have my international airport, although it's currently not bringing anyone in there. Do you have any tips for doing cool tourism stuff?
I mean, I am a really big fan of the water stuff that we added just because of course the land value thing, and then a lot of the new assets, especially the tourism specialization, are oriented towards waterfronts. You know, you have the jet ski, you have the beach bars,
Oh, that's
you
right.
have things that feel very, you know, beachy. It was actually originally called the beach specialization, but we changed that to tourism because it kind of got expanded upon. Um, wait, you have you have the paid version. I was trying
Yeah.
to figure out. So you have the stuff like the new unique. I like to build the new stuff. I like the zoo. The zoo makes me super excited.
So
Um,
so where's the zoo?
I think it should be in the unique buildings, and then one of the first two tabs we have added several new unique.
Oh yeah, the
But
tourism and leisure one. I don't have everything unlocked.
yes,
I have a luxury hotel. Ooh, I'll build that.
that's a big one.
Casino, driving range, fantastic fountain. I need to transport a bunch of people with a taxi, and then the zoo. I need to construct a fishing pier first. All right, so we'll have to
Should
get to
be in the
work on
parks
that.
menu.
So where's my waterfront? Down here. Oh yeah, with all my poop water. I don't know if that has an impact on.
I think it actually does, or at least the slight one. I mean, you should be able to see it in the land value. I don't know if that's
Yeah, I've
entirely
got it.
fair,
I think it is. I
but
think it's a little less dark here where most of it is accumulating. So
I hope so, because poo water is polluting. So hopefully the game realizes that. Unless, of course, I mean, I'm from Stockholm, and in my opinion, as a West Coasterner, the entire East Coast is made of shit, but yet we kind of placed our capital here, so I suppose it's subjective depending on your worldly views.
so
Um,
where do I put the? How do I build the fishing pier? Because that's not under the uniques, and I need that to unlock the zoo.
that's a park. So if you go into the park menu, you should see several seaside assets, and those are only placeable by the waterfront, and then you can kind of just take pedestrian paths or whatever to them.
All right, so we're
And
gonna get something that looks a little like SoCal or something like that going on here. Okay. Oh
no
yeah,
idea
now I
how
see
that
it.
looks.
Fishing tours, jet ski rentals. All right, we're gonna develop this area.
Lots of fun beach time stuff. So, I mean, one of the things that we have changed now, as far as I know, with how tourism has worked, is that previously you just didn't get very large tourism numbers. Some buildings did not get anything. And that should have been improved now. So you should see, once you have attractive building tourists, you should see a lot more people.
A lot more people coming into your town.
Yes, and that should hopefully be reflected in the values that you can see the visitor numbers. And I think in the economy tab there's a separate entry thing for tourism. I'm not really sure, but case so you can kind of keep track whether or not that is a sensible source. Hopefully, a city should be able to maintain high tourism.
Yep.
Kind of this culture going on.
Yeah, I see. I've got like no tourism income yet because I haven't actually built much for tourism. So now
They should start appearing eventually.
for these lakefront things, if I just put a walk path sort of right adjacent to them, that will be sufficient, and then get these guys hooked up to public transit and taxis, and then people will be able to come to here.
That should be the case, yes. Oh,
Okay.
now that okay, I'm still behind in the stream, but the tourism income popped up a tiny bit, so you'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
And I think a large part of the idea with After Dark is that it should just add a lot more life in that sense to react more naturally to where they are during the day and which areas see activity and such should get kind of more a breathing, living city, which is of course buzzword intense, but that's kind of the gist with the expansion, just to give you more life. And tourism should be a natural because any large city worth.
Sorry, you're breaking up just a wee bit.
It might be raid call. It might be my. Okay, I'm not sure how the raid call works with recognizing me. I'm not using push to talk, but let me know if.
Okay, that might be all it is. Actually, it might be responding to me, like, making clicks and noises over here, so I should just try to be more silent. Am I out of power? I am out of power. Oh, and it's night, so let's check something. Yeah, the solar plant is definitely not making any power at night.
Then we changed that. Oh man, because I've been going with that whole salt plane explanation several times.
I've seen people mention it in the chat too, and I was like, I don't know.
Oh, that sucks. I was so excited when I had that, you know, not excuse, but kind of that explanation for why the solar planet power works. But no, okay. I'll have to have a discussion with my friends at Colossal about that. They have shamed me and my family.
You demand honor.
Yes, I know. I mean, it's so sucky to say something and I have to retract that, but it's part of being a PR person. Oh, actually, I tuned into your stream just before I hopped in here, and you mentioned me being Paradox, and that is correct. I'm one of our 3 community managers, but I do all the external titles, so cities of force.
Right. Okay. So yes, you work for Paradox, but for the titles that you publish, as
Correct.
opposed to develop internally. Yeah,
because we of course have all the PDS games, and then we have the multiplayer games that has a guy called Ray. I'm working for them, so we kind of split onto our niches, so we can focus on our separate products. This is my. No, I don't want to commit seppuku. That's so rude.
Because of the honor, yeah. My oil industry spot is out of oil. Expanded over here. Always a problem with that stuff.
I like how we're doing this kind of mixed grid dynamic thing. It feels like it's organized, but still chaotic. Have you been playing a lot of cities lately, or have you not played much since launch?
I played it last week for a little while, right before getting my my key, just to get back into it. And I've been trying to mix it up. I mean, also, it looks a little bit interesting. Actually, my last city used mostly less curves and more. I sort of had a main grid, and then usually within those big blocks, I would sort of have an offset grid off a few degrees. And it encourages you to just stick some extra trees in there, and it looks really good when you zoom in.
Yeah, it does. Have you checked out the mod, the asset plopping mod, where you can take all the kind of park assets and you can place them wherever you want in your city? So it's kind of like super painy detail stuff.
Oh no. That sounds like too much for me. I think that's the sort of thing that A Kiss for Luck would love, though.
I think I watched her streams, and she's like really into detail work, and that would be super fun because my girlfriend plays a lot too, and she can sit for hours with just one tiny intersection and place in flowers and park benches, super realistic. And then she zooms out, and I realized it's this huge city. Or well, could have been a huge city, but it's actually just 5 houses in a roundabout because that's what she spent her entire evening on. But I guess each to their own. It's really fun to see though with all the mods, and I saw some questions in the chat. Some guy asked about the X+1 version, and all that we can say about currently in development. Microsoft kind of owns the community, so unless you hear something new from them, we're not saying much. But it's being worked on, and it's gonna be awesome.
Cool. Well, I just put down my first taxi stand.
Ooh, I see that.
With the taxi stand, I don't need to have taxi stands at the destinations, although I guess to get people back home.
Well, actually, taxis, do you have a depot somewhere? Or do you just have the stands?
Oh, I have a depot. You have to build the depot first. So I have that.
Okay, so they work in two ways. First of all, there's the taxi stands where go to, and it's kind of like a bus. Taxis hang out there and pick up people. But then, as far as I know, unless this changed too, they also do it kind of dynamically. So if a citizen is in need of pickup, they can theoretically call a taxi. And I'm doing the bunny ears with hands right now for visual aid, and that taxi comes and picks up. Because not like citizens can't just spawn a car; they only have a car if they actually own, which is kind of a sub simulation thing going on that isn't really visible. So taxis can also go around and just roam in the city like a police car and pick. So they work on multiple levels, but a taxi stand will guarantee that you have taxis in an area. So say,
Right. Now, I
somewhere
noticed
that has a lot of people.
right now my taxi stands don't have any, but I noticed my taxi depot says taxis in use 25 of 25. So the bus depot has, I believe, unlimited buses. So you only need one bus depot ever. But it looks like I will want multiple taxi depots if I want to have lots of taxis in my city.
I think so, yes. So they should be placed probably convenient where you expect a lot of taxis to be. Tourism-heavy areas, because if anyone doesn't own a car in your city, that is going to be a tourist.
Right.
Or most commonly. So having one relatively close to your leisure area and one relatively close should hopefully be ample enough.
Okay, I'm going to keep 2 near my airport. Then, yeah, when I develop my leisure area, and I'm just waiting for daytime to swing by again because it's so dark over there, then I'll build up my leisure area and put one down over there and see how that works.
Nice. Actually, I saw someone ask about the mods too, regarding what works and not, and I actually did see part of your stream too mentioned that you turned off a lot, and so we have been having this closed modding beta going on for just a select few of the mods to check out. So they're very common mods that launch and kind of figuring out what works or not. And it's a surprising amount of mods that still do work with After Dark without any need fixes. But of course, some of them are going to on their wire, but a lot of mods do work and a lot of assets work. Except that, of course, the buildings don't have lights in the night. Modders need bad man.
Yeah, I haven't, wow, that is a hell of a cliff. I haven't run into any problems with my mods personally. I have gone ahead and turned most of them off for this, just in case. But I still have a few going. The auto bulldoze, the auto empty, the unlock 25 tiles, the no purple ground mod. I like that one.
I know a lot of people don't like the purple pollution.
Yeah, but you can tune it. In fact, there's like 4 or 5 different versions of the no purple mod to like make it slightly less purple, make it just gray. I just leave it green. I mean, the pollution is still there, but it just looks better. Oh, and the tree brush mod.
Oh yeah, that one's a good one. I really like that one. It's a bit annoying to have to plop trees separately, except of course if you're like a tree painter. But that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if. Of course, you haven't followed everything we've been talking about, but I recently hanged around with Carolina at PAX. We talked a bit about what we add to the game and in which areas we add a mod to the game itself. And our general reply is that if we can make it better and it makes more sense to have in the base game than to have downloadable and optionable word as an option, then we'll do it. But generally, like, look at the tree brush mod. It works awesomely. There's no real need for us to put programming hours into adding it to the base.
Yeah.
Click away for, especially not when our team is 4 people and we kind of have to kill our darlings. So hopefully people kind of have an understanding for why not everything awesome.
Well, I think with the tree
really
brush,
cool.
too, there's a question of balance in that, actually, I don't think I had to run power over there, did I? That the tree brush mod right now, you get it for free. How come this doesn't have power? Oh, there we go. Oh, because I literally just need more power in my city. Okay. It allows you to put down all the trees for free. So, what do you do about that? If you were to make it official, would you do it? Would you add a cost? Would you do this or that? And this way people can sort of just have the mod and work within their own set of rules if they want.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, we generally, though, I think we wouldn't put that behind a paywall, but it's still, it doesn't really make sense for us to...
Sorry, I don't mean a paywall. I mean, like, because plopping down the tree costs 10 gold or 10 money in the game,
Oh,
whereas the
okay,
tree
like
brush
that.
is free to plop down as much as you want.
Oh, okay. So it's more for. Oh, you mean it like that? That of course, it kind of confused me that we would take payment for a mod. But yeah, it's of course not according to gameplay or as gameplay is designed. It's more of a designer thing. It's the beautiful thing with mods. People can adjust the game to play however they want.
Mm-hmm.
Which is of course super exciting to see as a developer too, because see your game grow into something that you would probably never expected. And our idea is that with every major expansion, we are going to moddability of the game too, which is, with every expansion, modders unlock new options and possibilities. I mean, it would be awesome. I don't know how possible that is for us to add, say, scripting to the. I've always wanted someone to do tower defense and
A tower
animate
defense
for it.
game?